Kathy, Tom, and Kelly, and grandchildren always came first. You are loved and admired by so many people. Nick, thanks for the memories. We will cherish them forever. Good health and happiness to you and June as you begin your retirement. In closing, there is one last thing we would all like to say. Hang on, June. Knowing Nick, there will be many adventures to come during his retirement.
Hi, Tom Killian, State Representative Tom Killian. Great to be here, Nick, to wish you the best wishes on your well-deserved retirement. I was very, very fortunate to, over the last 11 years, to sit with you on the House floor and learn what a true representative is and what it means to represent your legislative district. No one does it better than you. And was further blessed when I had the opportunity to sit on the Insurance Committee and got to watch firsthand how you ran that committee in a bipartisan basis, working with both Republicans and Democrats on crucial issues to the people of Pennsylvania. And you did it so well, and I learned so much. And then at the end of your career, when you went on the Transportation Committee, and we will be seeing the benefits of your work there for years and years to come. Because of what you did on that committee, we have money for infrastructure, roads, bridges, and mass transit in Pennsylvania for the next 20 years. We'll be spending $2 billion a year to fix the infrastructure in Pennsylvania. And it's all because of what you did, Nick, and we greatly, greatly appreciate it. I can only hope that I can be 1/3 representative you have been in years in Harrisburg. And it's just amazing that I watch you, how hard you work for your district. No one worked hard in their district. You put Pennsylvania first, but you put your district actually ahead of first. No one took better care of their municipalities than their school districts than Nick Micozzie. I don't know how you did it. You found pots of money that we didn't even know existed in Harrisburg, and you brought them home. That's why you were loved. That's why you were re-elected many, many times. And I wish you the best in your retirement. Enjoy your retirement with your wife, with your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, and your children. You deserve it. God bless you, and God bless your family, Nick.
I certainly would like to thank Nick, as I'm sure that the entire community does, for all that he's done for us for all these years that he's been active in the political scene, represented us very well. I wish Nick the best of health and all good things in the years to come. And I know that he'll continue to help us any way that he can. It's in his blood.
You know, Nick Micozzie, as many people would know, is a man of great passions. First to his family, and especially to June and his kids and grandchildren and great-grandchildren now. Second to his community. I've never known anybody more dedicated to Upper Darby and its environs, and tried to do more and actually done more. But third, and a lot of people here may not know it, is Nick's devotion to the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and all consumers and citizens. I represent the insurance industry, and Nick and I began our relation 20 years ago. He was the newly appointed chairman of the House Insurance Committee, and I was the newly anointed head of the Insurance Federation. We were a bit of an odd couple. I'm a young, loudmouth kid, and he was already at that time a sage presence in Harrisburg. He took me under his wing. He taught me a great deal, and what he taught me was that as long as you keep consumers at the forefront, you'll be okay. Do it honestly, do it ethically, work hard, and always keep consumers at the forefront. As a result, over the last 20 years, what people have benefited from in Pennsylvania are improving insurance markets, more affordable care, more affordable coverage, better claims handling, and a better marketplace for everybody. There is not an insurance law in Pennsylvania that didn't take place without Nick Micozzie's leadership and his stewardship. He did it in an open way, in a fair way, and an honest way, and it's just been a great pleasure to work with him, see how he handles people, see how he handles issues, and to see his approach to life. There's always a twinkle in his eye, but always a serious purpose underlying everything. I have an enormous respect for him, enormous admiration for him, and as a citizen, not so much an insurance professional, but as a citizen of this Commonwealth, I have a great amount of gratitude for him, so it's a great pleasure to be a part of this evening. Thank you.
I've known Nick since high school days. We are both graduates of St. Thomas More Catholic High School for Boys, and we both visited Shanahan Catholic Boys Club The motto, St. Thomas More, Forevermore, seems appropriate. Nick and I have been friends for forever. Now that is not to say we have seen eye to eye in all the times. You know Nick, once he gets the idea in his head, compromise takes on a different meaning. However, Nick has been elected over 40 times, so must be doing something right. His wife June is a sparkle in Nick's eye. After a long, hard week, you could always find Nick on Friday night at the dance with his girl June, first at the De La Salle Knights of Columbus and then various local establishments. Now June and Nick can be found often at Anthony's Italian restaurant. Nick is extremely proud of his 3 children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren. I imagine the Nick's dinner table is something like the dinner table on the New York City cop show Blue Bloods. The dinner table includes conversations between a member of the state legislature, magistrate or district judge, an insurance health administrator, and a mayor. I have no doubt that the real Nick Boss June directs the final words. Nick is hard at work, always taking the manual of a little guy. I guess that is why I get along so well with Nick. I am one of the little guys he has always helped. On a serious note, Nick did much for our community, fighting for education, senior citizens' rights, and insurance reform. My most fond memory of Nick Micozzie as a state legislator will be him doing door-to-door canvassing to talk with his constituents. Nick, we may be several miles from the intersection of 47th and Wyalusing Avenue, but you never lost the morals, compassion, and commitment to do the right thing taught by the good priest of St. Thomas More. Thank you for your friendship.
Congratulations, Representative Micozzie and family. I just want to say that it has been an honor to work with Chairman Micozzie over the many years on issues that have benefited the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. I wish Nick and his family the best in his well-deserved retirement and look forward to seeing him on the 1st of December. Congratulations, Nick.
I would echo Mary Ellen entirely and just add that you were one of the few chairmen over the many years that we were fortunate enough to deal with you who truly knew the art of compromise, and we have appreciated working with you and wish you all the best in your retirement. Best of luck, Nick.
Hi, I'm Phil Herron, editor of the Daily Times, a position that I have held for the last 12 years. In fact, I have been at the Daily Times since 1982. Which means that Nick Micozzie went to Harrisburg 4 years before I came to Delaware County. I have had, over those 32 years, any number of interactions with Nick, and he has always struck me as one thing first and foremost. Nick has always been a gentleman. We have not always agreed on every topic. We have sometimes butted heads, but we have always done so in a spirit of trying to get things done. And that is, in fact, Nick Micozzie's legacy. He is a guy who went to Harrisburg not for himself, not for what he could do, but for the people, and he got things done for the people. Probably the best example of which was just a few years ago when literally the Upper Darby School District was on the verge of a meltdown with people in revolt. They are facing a new wave of funding cuts. They were looking at another large staff layoff, and it was Nick Micozzie, who knows the ways of Harrisburg better than almost anyone, who found $2.7 million to avert a lot of heartache here in Upper Darby. Not only that, but it was money that would not have to be replaced year after year. That is the kind of constituent service that Nick Micozzie became known for. Every 2 years, representatives in the State House run for office, and they come into our office at the Daily Times and sit with our editorial board. And Nick came in every 2 years with the same message, a message that really resonated with me. Nick liked helping people. That's why he went to Harrisburg. He also liked to do something else, because at the end of every session, he would always say, "I'm late. I'm gone out dancing with my wife." Nick, I wish you and your wife a lot of dances in the years to come. You will be truly missed, a Delaware County icon. All the best.
Hi Nick, congratulations on retirement. It has been a pleasure to work with you. You're one of the most fine professionals I've worked with in my career, and a gentleman. And I know that all the stories you're going to hear tonight, people are going to talk about things you're going to remember for. And I know people are going to say they're going to remember you, expect me to say, remember you for Act 89 and your leadership on transportation. They're going to talk about our relationship with you as Transportation Chair and me as Secretary of Transportation. And those were important achievements. That's not what I'm going to remember about you, Nick. I'm going to remember going to dinner with you at Shars and talking about our families. I'm going to remember meeting your grandchildren and your beautiful wife when we're down in Philadelphia. And most of all, I'm going to remember a smile that lights up the room. And for me, the friendship that we made while we worked together, got the opportunity to know each other, is what I'm going to recall. I wish you the very best in your retirement. I hope you enjoy all those grandchildren and spend time with them and spend time doing the things you know you like to do. On your behalf, we're going to continue to deliver the promises you made with Act 89. Thank you so much.
Well, Nick, here we are, riding off into the sunset. You know, as you look back, you can be extremely proud. You know, I remember 40 years ago when I first met you, and you were in Upper Darby as a commissioner, and I was so impressed by your commitment and your fervor to serve the residents of that 2nd District. And then, of course, you moved to the state in 1979, and you expanded that influence. And you helped even more people. And finally, you worked into a number of committees where you were able to have an influence statewide. And it was crowned by one of the greatest achievements in the state, and that was your shepherding the passage of the Transportation Act. That act will go down in history as one of the greatest, and you did that. It's been a great pleasure knowing you. God bless, Godspeed.
Hey Nick, congratulations on a long and distinguished career in public service. We first met over a decade ago when I came to work for the House Republicans. You were the first member I was assigned to, and I was so nervous. I was new to public relations, I had limited experience with Delaware County, and I knew next to nothing about insurance. You and your staff welcomed me in with open arms. You have always been extremely encouraging, and I'm so thankful that we have had the opportunity to develop a friendship that has carried over throughout the years. Now, I will miss seeing you when I stop by the Capitol from time to time, but I wish you the happiest, healthiest, just most fulfilling retirement. Best wishes.
When I was asked to say a few words about Nick, I had to spend a little time thinking about it, and very quickly 2 things came to mind. 2 incidents that I think really define the individual. The first one speaks to his character. The second one speaks to his effectiveness as a legislator. In the early 70s, Nick and I both served on the Board of Commissioners in Upper Darby Township. However, he came on as a Democrat. And I remember very clearly those days. We had many times that we disagreed. But in looking back, what I remember most of all is it never became disagreeable. And after the meeting was over, we usually would get together socially, sometimes go over to Redwood, and we'd sit down and talk about things where we could work together. It really was a model for what the Congress might want to take a look at today. The second incident, which was very vivid in my mind, is down at Delcora, the County Wastewater Treatment Authority. We had a project to build a bypass line from eastern Delaware County to our western regional plant so we could better control our costs. This was a very expensive project. I think it was $12, $13 million. So we were looking to get a PennVest loan. That's the Pennsylvania Infrastructure Authority. They make loans to municipalities, authorities for public works projects. Well, we applied to PennVest and just couldn't get anywhere. I mean, we kept getting more questions and typical bureaucratic runaround. So in desperation, I called Nick and said, is there anything you can do to help us? So in about 3-4 days, he said, can you come up to Harrisburg? We said, certainly we can do that. So we go up to Harrisburg, we're sitting in his office, and in there are like 4 representatives from PennVest. And they're talking about all the great things they're doing and this and that. And then Nick asked one question. He said, tell me, in the last 20 years, how many of your loans, how much money have you given to Delaware County, and in particular to my district? And the guy who was there, I don't remember his name today, he thought about that and he started off, he said, well, I'll have to go back, I'll have to check the records and so forth and so on. We'll get that answer to you. And Nick says, don't bother, I already checked. The answer is 0. With that, he turns around to his aide and says, Grace, I think we need some legislation for these guys. Shortly after that, the meeting broke up, but I'll tell you, the following day, the loan was approved. So Nick, thank you for all you've done for the residents of Upper Darby, for the residents of Delaware County, the residents of your district, and for me personally. You're a great guy.
Hey Nick, I can't believe that you're actually going to retire. You know, I told Jamie Santora all this year, we better make sure that that petition period is closed because I think if June let you change your mind, you'd have been right back in the race. But I want to say thank you on behalf of all the residents of Alden. All through the years, our council presidents, starting from your friend Jack Bellapede through Joe McCullion and Harry Short now, as well as Mayor Hopley and Mayor Edmondson, we all want to thank you. Alden is certainly a different town because of you. It's a better town because of you. You can take pride as you're driving around and you go from place to place and you drive past parks, the historical park, our clock tower, and a lot of other sites that you know you've had a hand in contributing to and helping us out. So on behalf of the residents of Alden, we say thank you. On behalf of the McBlain family, I want to say thank you for everything that you've done for our parish in St. Eugene's, and I know my dad would want me to say thank you for all those elections where you bought him a beer at the Knights of Columbus. He enjoyed it greatly. Congratulations, enjoy the retirement, and I better see you out dancing.
I'd like to say that Nicholas and myself go back many, many years, over 50, to when he first got elected to Upper Darby Council. And then from there, was happy to work with him in some of those tough early campaigns. And he went into Harrisburg with an open view, and he was able, because of his personality and his knowledge and his commitment to work with governors on both sides of the aisle. Nick was able to work well with all previous governors, and he did well for his district and for his community. I think he brought so many funds into his district that every other member of the House was envious of what he was able to accomplish. Great work, Nick. Great future. Don't go away. Stay